the best way to build a community is to create social bonds between community members. Social bond is the reason why people would keep coming out for your event or keep being part of the community, because they've connected with somebody that they really like in the community, and that is the person that will make them keep coming back. We've had community members that have gotten married. Wow. That's why we host a lot of events. Physical event is how a virtual community organizes. So what we do is create avenues for people to bond, and it's because of that strong bond that is why you have a very passionate community.
With over $1 million brought into the Nigerian economy, Harri Obi and his team at Superteam Nigeria have made a powerful impact, winning over 22 hackathons, building 200 plus projects on Solana, and growing a vibrant community of more than 1,000 builders across the country. Under his leadership, Superteam Nigeria has become the largest on-chain community in the nation, leading the charge for the future of Web3 in Africa.
Based off of your experience, there are a lot of things that I believe you can recommend for people who are looking to be in this space till 2035 at least.
You just have to keep learning. The only thing I watch on TV is documentaries.
For someone that has not seen their first $1,000,
It's a numbers game. If you keep showing up, something is bound to happen.
Before we dive into today's conversation, I just want to say this real quick. If you're just finding us, thank you and welcome to the PT Podcast. And if you've been here with us since, thank you for sticking around. My team and I are building the PT Podcast for people like you who want to grow, people like you who want to feel seen, who want to be heard, who want to be stretched. So while you're here, we want you to do just two things that can help move us forward. Subscribe so you don't miss out on contents that actually sharpens and feeds your mind. That's literally the only thing we demand of you, to keep bringing high quality guests to the PT Podcast for every single one of us. And secondly, you want to go ahead and leave a comment right there in the comment section. If you have any thoughts, please put them down there. You do not know who would see them. You do not know who really needs them at this time. And you do not know who you are helping just by leaving a comment. Today's conversation is one of those conversations that you're not only going to hear, you're going to feel it. And we want you to take action by sharing this episode to your network, to different people building different stuffs at different phases of their life. That's the energy that we need to keep bringing high quality guests. And if there's someone in your mind, entrepreneur, founder, builder, whoever it is that you would like us to speak to, please write to us and we'll definitely make that happen. All right, let's dive in real quick to this one. You have brought in so much money to the GDP of Nigeria. And I think, aside from starting from there, I want you to take us back to those moments when you were doing red carpet.
I've done a lot of interviews, tons of interviews. I can't count. Nobody has asked me about like my red carpet TV days. So I thought I was going to be the next Ebuka Obi-Chendu. Right, so I thought broadcasting was going to be my life. I wanted to be a TV presenter, so I trained to be a TV presenter. I went to like proper broadcast schools, and then after I was done with broadcast schools, I got a job with several TV stations and production house. I was responsible for doing red carpet shows, right? So go to the red carpet with the camera guy, interview celebrities on the red carpet, interview guests, get them to air their opinions on different topics. Yeah, and eventually sometimes I would be on camera, right, on TV. So it was a very good experience for me. I think that the reason why I was able to thrive really well when I switched to marketing was because I could sell myself, I could speak. Right?
Yeah,
There were people that were way better at marketing, but they just couldn't sell themselves, right? But as a broadcaster, I spent years learning how to talk to people, communicate with people, and it was easy. But I think a lot of people like to see like their past lives as a waste. For me, I think it was a necessary experience because I was always the shy and introverted kid. But thanks to broadcasting, working on red carpet,
I'm just like curious to know if you think that there's like a connecting thread between those days of your broadcasting journey to when you started building in blockchain and in Web3 generally. There is certainly, like you mentioned now, these are the necessary experiences that helps you thrive even in that new environment. How much do you think those days of you learning how to communicate and actually chatting with people and interviewing people, how much do you think it contributed to where you are from?
a whole lot, right? So what I do primarily is marketing and communications and PR, right? if you're driving marketing for a global brand or even a local brand, you're going to be in front of the camera a lot, right? So obviously, like I said, that experience has really been beneficial because now I get to speak with members of the press or even with community members. Is a people facing role essentially,
Essentially,
right?
yes.
So I don't think I'll be able to do like a really good job of communicating. For example, Solana had its first major event on the continent. Solana Foundation, that is in South Africa, Cape Town. I hosted the event, right? I was speaking to a crowd of like dozens of people, and it was, I mean, it's now second nature to me because I'd done a lot of event hosting, a lot of red carpet. So it came just naturally to me. I mean, you can see the way how successful I've been in my current role as a community builder, as a marketer, or as a communicator in blockchain with how I started my career, generally speaking.
I generally like to say that the dots connect backwards. When you look back, you figure out that every single journey that you've been able to experience, every single road that you've been able to ply, they are like interconnected. Right. During the research, we found out that you once considered careers in law and investment banking. How'd that go?
Law primarily, right? My dad was an executive assistant for a senior advocate of Nigeria, right? So he was already his executive assistant even before I was born, right? So he was with him for like over 30 years. This was a guy that was Nigeria's foremost constitutional lawyer. He was at the time the federal minister of education, yes. And I mean, if you ask any lawyer who's Professor Benoit Beze, the really solid lawyers know Professor Ben is. My dad was the executive assistant, and I grew up in sort of that whole environment where my dad would always bring him back legal books. My dad would always invite me to like the lawyer events, and I would meet other lawyers. I was supposed to be a lawyer essentially, right? So, but I applied for the university. I mean, I passed. Well, I wasn't given the admission. I'll give it because I'm from a, how do they call it now, an educationally advantaged state. So a friend of mine that's actually scored the same thing or lower than me. Today he's currently a lawyer.
Why did they not deny you the opportunity?
Because I'm from, like I said, he's from a state that is considered educationally backward. So they prioritize those people when it comes to admission in federal institutions. While
Are you serious?
well, so I was pushed to political science instead of law, and I considered going back to read law, essentially what my father wanted. But I had a very good mentor who just said, "Why you spend 4 or 5 years NYC? Why do you want to go back to and spend another 5 years? The world has changed, and I'm happy I listened to him." So yeah,
That means there is a certain role that mentorship had already played in your life. So I think the area of your mind I'm trying to dig into is that part where mentorship helped you pave certain ways that originally you would not, have known. So I think you want to take us back to when you discovered blockchain in general, first and foremost.
yes. So during my Web2 marketing era, I was working for this PR agency where we were responsible for doing some work with for the Central Bank of Nigeria, right? So at the time I was working there, it was when the central bank came out with that first ban, crypto ban, right? That was the first time. So my boss said, "Yo, like, oh, let's do some work for these guys. Let's monitor the conversation online and see what people are saying about the band, right?" So there's something in communications, in PR called sentiment analysis. Basically, you measure
The sentiment.
measure that, yeah, what people are saying, it is negative or positive. So I was responsible for that because I was the creative and strategy lead at the agency. So I did my sentiment analysis, and we realized that yes, a lot of people are not happy with the crypto ban, right? So that was my first ever introduction to crypto. I didn't know anything about crypto then. Just seeing, following the conversation on Twitter and saying, okay, what are these guys saying? Just because I was trying to do my work for CBN. But nothing happened. I left the agency shortly afterwards. I got a job with another Web2 fintech company, bank. I was about to start with them as a brand manager. And then this company at the time called FTX sent me a message and said, "Yo, they're trying to do something in Africa." And this asked around and he said, "Oh, I'm one of the marketing people that they should speak." There were a lot of people that he DM'd, but nobody responded because at the time it was the BD lead for Africa. He didn't have up to like 3,000 or 2,000 followers. Nobody really knew him. So nobody was responding. The big marketing guys were not responding to his messages, but so I responded and had a conversation with them. They were not impressed. I didn't have like crypto experience, but they were at the time they were willing to give me a chance, and I impressed them. A few months later, I got a full-time contract as an employee, and like you say, the rest is history.
I think the first time I'm hearing like this because most of us started contributing in the Web3 blockchain space from just like, contributing efforts. It's not like people reached out to us. That means we were probably very good in marketing already in the Web2 space that would make someone recommend you to a crypto company at the time.
Absolutely. So there's something that is very we like to advise and encourage in what this space currently, which is build in public. Right. Yes. During my web marketing era, I was actively building in public. So if I work on a campaign, I will share details about the campaign. I will tell you how I came about the campaign, the result of the campaign. If I work on a creative, I would share that. Like I was very active in that space. So like you mentioned, yeah, it became very easy for people to just okay, I know this guy's a marketing person and refer opportunities to you. So things have changed right now because I mean, it was then because again, there were very few really good crypto talent generally in Nigeria.
Yes.
So you have to ask around and you have to give people that were not necessarily crypto natives opportunity. Now it's different. There's so many.
There are over thousands of them, thousands of those out there.
Yeah. So
They're gonna drag you if you just put it out there. I think the storytelling part of the marketing too, I just want to dig into because Harry, how many twists do you make in it?
for me, I remember somebody saw me and said that I must have mental problems. So, but I pushed out. I don't remember over 200,000 tweets or so. So so Twitter is my office, right? Twitter is my office. As a community founder and as a community builder, you want to always be in the conversation. You always want to be in the midst of what is going on in your ecosystem of
That's
the
right.
base. Right?
That's right.
I see a lot of founders, they're active big to communicate with their primary constituents, right? For them, oh, they're very big. Why should I'm a big boy, I'm a rich kid. Why should I talk to low lives? But with me, I interact with like the guys that consider themselves the big boys, and I consider the guys that the people that consider themselves newbies, because I think that if you're going to be a successful community builder, you actually have to care about the community.
So
So to care about the community, you have to be involved in conversations. I don't want to be told by somebody I'm employing that this is what is happening in the community. Most times I see these things myself and I even push it to my core team, right? So yeah, sorry to the guys that are always complaining, but I'm very tutor.
These are like issues that needs to be fixed and treated so well that I think I saw something you posted about everyone doesn't really need to be a founder. Not quoting you per se, but that's what I took out of the I think it was yesterday you made that tweet about you can be focused on building value for people to earn a living and live a comfortable life without necessarily building a company or finding a company. And I think that's from your place of experience as a community builder who has set what we call a pace, right? And you've helped a lot of people. I think I want to just allow you share the story of like the best stories for you that in relation to things that has happened with Superteam lately. You guys are like, I think I should say we guys, we are like the biggest crypto community right now in Nigeria, if not Africa, right?
Yes, so we're the largest chain-based community. It's I mean officially in Nigeria, but I mean I don't have the data to back up
Africa.
Africa, right? But at least from a report by Hash the Margins, we're referred to as the most active. I mean, the fact that we're also present in 30 states. I mean,
She's a lot of
yes, fruit. Yeah. So yeah, I think for me, impact is just seeing the life that we've changed. Right. I've been approached by the parents of community members.
wow.
Yes, like we had parents literally take a bus to come see us, the leads, to say thank you so much for helping my kid. You giving him a purpose. He's earning, he's paying our house rent, he's taking care of us just because he's a community. I think nothing trumps that. When people ask me the question, the numbers are nice, the metrics are good, but impact is something that not a lot of other ecosystems are cracked.
Yes.
The fact that we preach work to earn, we encourage people to earn global standard salaries by just working from their homes, right? So I think that is it for me. Like the proudest thing that I've done, building the super team community is the fact that we're actively changing lives. People have, I don't start going to say, people have,
Those matters.
yeah, people have literally moved from their parents' house to their well-furnished houses. So many people that I can't even count. In fact, the other time somebody tweeted that the father asked her, like, is anything wrong? Are you now on the street? What's happening? You haven't asked me for money
In a long
months.
time.
And it's a proud thing for somebody that is young, that just left university, that hasn't even done NYC, but you're taking care of yourself because of you're part of the community. That is impact.
How are you extracting because I would literally call you one of the biggest talents, developers and exporters from Africa, right? Considering the total number of people, I was privileged to work with Bankless DAO at a very large scale as community call admin way back when we were still in play before the transition. And one of the things that the exact I don't want to say vibe, but the exact feeling and energy that Super Team has right now, that was what we were feeling at the time. Because when I stumbled upon the blockchain space, we didn't have experience. So I embarked on a 100 days mission to go from crypto curious to crypto native, to learn about Web3 terminologies, download lingos, learn what GM means and all that. You understand?
Yeah.
So right now, I see that same thing happening, but you are taking it to the grassroots, inside communities where there are no internet connections. It's a thing that 100 billion corporations have not been able to crack, even with the whole saying we are impacting people. You can see, I saw that someone on Super Team made more than $15,000 in a year, working on videos that, if you shoot those videos for companies in Africa, you might not get up to 5 million in the whole year of your production. He had, I think, 30-something submissions. What's his name again? Crypto Oracle.
Yeah.
Right. And this is clear impact to the people, giving value back. And I'm not yet a Super Team community member, but you could hear me say we because it's the same spirit everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think I just wanted to learn how you are extracting this data. What is the mechanism that you have already put in place as structure that has helped you people scale the numbers as fast as you have?
This is probably the second time that I'm speaking about this because I like to downplay it, right? But we are a very structured organization.
Yes, I can agree with that.
Really structured. In fact, I know people that have left other chains the Super Team just because of how structured we are. People are like, they look like it's all vibes here, but they're really effective, right?
Yes.
And that is how we're structured. So we have a country lead, we have a co-lead, and then we have a DevRel, we have an operations lead.
Yeah, I think I saw your CEO. I'm like,
Yeah.
how does the community have a CEO?
Exactly. Like, how do you get that CEO? We have an ops lead, and then we have regional captains, and then we have 30 state moderators, right? So that means that we're structured like a presidential system of government.
Exactly.
So there's a president, there's a vice,
And then
there's a chief of staff,
government and all that.
there's state governors, there's the governors forum, and there's all
The
of that,
local
right?
governments are there.
Yeah. So for us, it's if you're going to play the community game, really do like a really good community game. So we're structured and we're very effective. Every Tuesday we have something called stand up, where everybody has to talk about what they've been able to achieve for the past week and what they plan to
Do
for
the next one.
next week.
Oh, wow.
So everybody comes to that call every Tuesday. And then we also have discussions around overarching strategy for the quarter, our meeting our goals, upcoming necessarily updates. Like, let's say we're planning like a really big event, or we're planning to travel, right? So we are very structured and quite decentralized in how we operate. For example, Zubi is responsible for BD and strategy. I'm responsible for community and marketing. The dev is responsible for taking care of the developers. The ops lead is responsible for ensuring that all these moving parts are cohesive, right? So and then the state moderators are like governors. They're responsible for growing out the Solana ecosystem in their different states. I cannot be in Imo State, I cannot be in Borno, I cannot be in Katsina, but we have people on ground that are doing their job, right? So that is the first thing. The other thing is that we understand one basic truth, which is that earning is a $1 trillion niche.
Yeah.
It's similar to when a journalist asked Jeff Bezos some years back that, are you not scared that new technology would take over your company and blah, blah, blah? And he said, well, technology would always change, right? But one universal truth that would never change is that customers would always want quality delivery, fast delivery, right? That would never change. If you build a company around that, then you're building for sustainability. Our own truth is that building product, focused on building unicorn, focused on VC, blah blah blah. Well, we do all of that.
Yeah.
Do that really well.
Well, yeah, I can.
Even better than the guys that are focused on it. But we also understand that our truth is that we want to continuously create opportunities for Nigerians. And that's why we've been relevant 2 years, longer than most other ecosystems.
Play has been going on for 2 years, and I saw during the African Stablecoin Summit, I was representing Pi Network there as an ambassador, and it was just a bunch of super team members everywhere, like super team. Like, okay, fine, can we all agree that we're doing this, right? And it's so good to see that this is something that has been done in 2 years. But I think generally it was possible because you're able to set up a team that is not only money focused. That's one of the things I've discovered. Yes, the incentive is there, remuneration is compulsory, but your team and you, right, the co-leads and every other person, you've been able to set up a structure that someone told me. So my team and I, we stay in Abuja. Let me give you a backstory. There's this lady, I think the community manager for Abuja community. When I was trying to learn a little bit more, because I like getting in touch with someone that knows so much about the community so I can see how I can contribute to efforts. She told me, oh, you're building in Ethereum. I say yes. Okay, so the requirement is that you may need to register Solana. I'm like, okay, can the two not exist? I will still ask you that question. Can the two not exist? But I saw that every one of them were in love with what they were doing. I think it's good commendation, because that is the fastest way to scale anything. So they believe in the mission and the vision. Everyone wants to earn. And for you to have money, you must provide value. Impact equal profit, right? Based off of the things you've shared. But I think I want to double down on how were you able to set up this thing? You see a lot of projects start and fail in less than 2 years of operations, and you guys are started. So I think you want to educate us. Maybe we can focus most of your ideas.
The best communities are cults.
Okay, so you don't give out the blueprints?
I would never say that, but I know, I would never say that about cult, right? But
Yeah.
but I've heard a lot of people say that the best communities are cults. And there's a truth to it, right? So that should be what you said. Someone said, you would need to
Move from here to here.
to cross carpet to somebody also tweeted something yesterday, and the community came for him, and then
Yeah.
no, the Solana markets in Nigeria are very, this was where it's very brutal. And I saw it, I didn't say anything to it, because obviously I know that if I quote it,
It's going to go more viral.
it's like he's going to see the real brutality, right? But that is just how passionate community members are about the community and about the chain, right? You don't build that by just giving people money. Every project gives money. Every project gives money, right?
Chunk of it.
But then once the promise of money doesn't exist, many of them disappear. It's not the case with us, right? Even when people leave the community, or maybe they leave, even when my core team members leave my community and they get a project they start working for in the ecosystem, they still want to be part of the Superteam community, because we're much more than just community, right? There's so many reasons. Don't say like I press something or I have a magic wand that make people very passionate. But much more than just money, we've been able to give people like a North Star, a mission for everyone to believe in. What we're doing is we are building out the Solana ecosystem. And when we started, everybody was EVM. If you were here 3 years ago, you were either using EVM or you were bidding on EVM.
It's simple.
It has changed a lot. There are now a lot of people that are using wallets like Phantom Wallet and Souffleur Wallet, right? And I think we all started together, the community members, right? They can see the impact of their work and passion in growing out the Solana ecosystem. So they feel like they actually own Solana. They feel like if you shit on Solana, it's not Harri or Zubi, you're actually shitting on my work. Because I knew when I started this community, and I know how far have grown to this community, even as a content creator. The people that started recording content on their phones.
Yeah.
Today, if you see their setup,
Yeah, doing good.
before I would even do that setup, I'm going to need to save for a couple of months. That is how much a lot of people have grown. So they think that they know that they're responsible for growing out this ecosystem and this community and this chain. So why would you want to shit on their work, right? So it's much more than just the incentives. Although everybody gives out incentives. We're not the only community or the ecosystem that gives out grants or gives out money,
That's correct.
or give out jobs. But I mean, there are plethora of reasons why we're very passionate.
Everything you've shared is 100% correct and true. And when I look at most of the products that are shipping on Solana, especially from Superteam Nigeria, these are products I know in collaboration with Lisk as well. Most of these projects are building. So they are the next people that I'm looking at. It's going to be so much beauty coming out of that community. Right? I see that these products have niched down to actual needed technologies. They're solving real world problems. I'm not talking about they're saying we are monetizing real world asset and they're not monetizing anything. But you see that what's the name? Like the use case is just so unique. That's one. There are a ton of them, Patch Cash, most of those products. These are stuff that are actually needed in Nigeria. So they are incorporating blockchain in what they are building. And sometimes I wonder, is it because of the money? I've actually wondered this before. Is it because of the money that they are building on Solana? Or I know that there is a lot of hype. The meme word started in Solana. A lot of things changed. Immediately Solana started blowing up from NFTs way back when it was just NFTs that were minting there. I didn't get in at the time. Yeah. I lost a lot of money in Solana. Yeah, so a lot of reasons why I abstained. But now it's no longer NFTs. They are building products that are really, really needed and are solving problems, which I know that more are coming out. So I just want to believe that it's not just the money. I'm trying to convince myself that it's not just the money and grant. Like you said, a lot of communities are giving out grants to different projects to build on their chain and whatnot. But that whole ownership mentality, that spirit of ownership, okay, we contributed to the building of this thing to the success to where it is currently. And you are making move to the federal government, Harry. And you don't want to share that with us.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, what I tweeted once, it's fine for products to ignore you at the earlier stages. You have to prove why they should come to you. And that has been Solana's story, right? When Solana kickstarted, EVM or had all the smart contract developers, Solana had to prove that we are actually worth building on. It's the same story with products in Africa. When people say, oh, these guys are building on this chain, these guys are, I'm like, it's fine, let them build. It gets to a point where they would have to say, you know what, we cannot avoid the Solana guys. There's so many products that hate my guts. They hate my guts, but they can't help themselves to just build on Solana because they're like, you can't fade this community or this ecosystem because they have passionate users, they have traction, they have builders. Like, why should I ignore? It doesn't make any business sense, right? So I think it's that people realizing that, okay, Solana actually has a lot of traction, a lot of users. They have a very vibrant community and they're very supportive. So we think this is a good place to obviously integrate and bridge to. Well, the government, I no comment about the government until it materializes, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's something that is out of the ordinary. What we're trying to do right now with our work is we got to the point where we cannot avoid having certain conversations, right? If a government official says, "You, I love what you guys are doing. I'd love to have a discussion with you. How can we work together?" You're not going to say, "Oh, because you're neutral," or because, "Oh, we're not." No, you should be open to having that discussion. But nothing concrete yet. I'm all about execution. Once we're done executing,
Everyone will know, right?
you know, compulsorily, you know.
Just like picking in your brain, what's been the biggest challenge for you and your team, in the whole process of keeping the super team community pretty much engaged, immediately after the initial excitement fades because people come, it's all hype, love what they're building. Every one of us, we are rocking super team. Yay, let's go super team. So after that hype and happiness and whatnot fades, I think there are a few strategies that you already have working. So is there something you want to share with, especially for people who are looking to build communities like?
Yeah, so we have a very strong social layer. That means that we understand that the best way to build a community is to create social bonds between community members, right? Social bond is the reason why people would keep coming out for events or keep being part of the community, because they've connected with somebody that they really like in the community, and that is the person that will make them keep coming back, not because of Harry and Zubio, not because of your incentives. It's because they met somebody that they really like, that they bonded with. We've had community members that have gotten married. We have community
That have
members.
gotten married.
Yes.
Wow.
About you, we have community members that are parents. Because of their friendship, their parents they become family friends. We've had community members that have gone to sleep over in community members' house for days and their parents allow it, right? It's a social bond. At the core is Superteam that's powering it. It's because we have created avenues for people to bond actively. We do that. That's why we host a lot of events, right? Because physical event is how a virtual community organizes, right? This month, Superteam hosts an event. I come in, I interact with this. I'm a developer. I interact with this designer. He's very cool. He seems chilled. We exchange numbers. We're chatting on WhatsApp and cracking jokes. Next month, again, Superteam organizes another event. I see him. This is more of a technical event where we're working on products together. The next one is a social event where we're just vibing and chilling. I've met this guy 3 times. Obviously, we're not going to be friends and we're going to be connecting outside of Superteam, right? That is how we've been able to build like a really passionate community, because everybody knows everybody. Everybody is a friend to everybody. We had our founders dinner. The people that came out of state that I was even shocked. I'm like, they took buses. Why would it take that long distance to come? They came because they had friends in the Lagos community that they want to see and meet. And if you see these people, they've been friends for the longest time online. If you saw how they were interacting, they did not come for the event and not come for Superteam or to see me.
Yeah.
Because of their friend. So what we do is create avenues for people to bond. And it's because of that strong bond, that is why you have a very passionate community, because everybody's that connected. And the overarching umbrella is Superteam Nigeria, and that's why we're very strong.
I'm currently looking at the organogram. We are killing it. We are killing it. And I like the community spirit generally. I can't speak so much, so it doesn't look like overhype, but the community structure is well put it in place. So I just wanted to figure out, inside the community, are there people you would call audience that are not entirely community members?
So we have 3 different membership tier. We have core members, like 250 people.
250.
Just 250, yeah.
250 core members.
Yes.
Out of how many thousand?
Lord knows. 30, 50K. Just 50 core members.
Why is it that small number?
Yeah, so because, again, our community is all about productive members, right? So we want to make sure that the people that are core members are people that are actively contributing to the growth of the Solana ecosystem, but like they're really talented people. So people like developers that have won hackathons, that have won bounties, really good writers, creators, designers, all of that. Then the contributor tier. So if there's core members, contributor, and lockers. Contributor tier, I don't remember the exact number now, probably like 1,000 or 2,000 contributors. Contributors are actually they're very valuable members of our community, because while they're not core members yet, they are the guys that are obviously actively doing stuff, but haven't gotten to that core member tier. We have a lot of them. And there are lockers, like people that come and go, people like you. You come today, you're like, okay, then he's appeared, then you come back again. So that's, we have possibly 20, 30,000 people. But the core members are like 250 people. And then the contributors are, I don't think the contributors are up to 1,000. I think they should be like 500 to 700 now, yeah.
Because I'm wondering why the Superteam has to send an email and say, you are now officially a Superteam. Is this a community or like an organization that like, this is a Web2 company or Web3 company, right? But I think I would like you to shed a little bit light on why there is this level of scrutiny that you're put in place. Obviously, you've touched base on most of them already while you were speaking, but just to like spell it out, so it is not, this is one thing that Ebunayo would always say, right? You say, it's not easy to get into Web3, which so I think I want to hear you say that as well to a lot of people, millions of people that might yet to be watching this episode, maybe even in 5 years' time. They'll be wondering, I know by then Superteam is like, only God knows where it's going to be, but it's going to be extremely high. I think, fingers crossed. they're gonna be wondering how to get in to start contributing efforts in Superteam, the very best way to do that, and the process of becoming an actual contributor that is recognized.
Yeah. So Superteam is not a social club, right? It is a social club that is open to everyone, like you mentioned. People say, "Oh, why are we scrutinizing this? Why are we decentralized? Why are we strict?" But what Superteam is we're not a social club. A social club is one that anybody can come and go, or like how other Web3 communities do it. Anybody can come and yarn a lot of rubbish. First of all, we're a gated community, so that means that we handpick everybody that is going to be part of our community. Every contributor, every core member was handpicked. There was nobody that came in by mistake. You have to go through certain levels, and then you have to you have to do a due diligence, right? That is why you see some people that are really good and actively contributing to the community are like, how come this guy he's not a member yet? I've met people like that. So like, oh, he's not a member. I'm even shocked myself because there's a strict process to becoming a member. Again, it needs to be stated we're a gated community. We're not a community for everybody. Because the community for everybody is a community for nobody. Then there's a process. The process is that you have to be very active in your states. In your state moderator has to know you, right? So I mean, if you're in Nigeria, you're definitely in one state. It might be Lagos, it might be Abuja. The state moderator of that state has to say, okay, I know this person. The person is actively contributing. He comes to our community calls. He comes to our physical events, blah, 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 blah. Then we'll not appreciate the regional captain who would interview you, ask questions, ensure that, okay, you have proof of work. Proof of work is very important. So proof of work is, have you jumped on a bounty? Have you won a hackathon? Have you built a product? Have you created content? Those is in the Solana ecosystem. Those things are very important. If you've done all of those things in Ethereum, we know said your papa. It has to be in Solana, right? You have to do all of those things in Solana, and that would act as a proof of work. After that process, we, the leads, will now interview, have conversation, and just to be sure that you're a perfect fit, right? So, that is the process of becoming a super. It's strict. It's rare. 2 years, we've only had 250 members. In fact, for the longest time, we did not want to crack the 150 mark. Before we get to 150, we'll just find people that we would kick out that are not really active, right? But the community has grown so big that we had to accommodate 100 more persons, right? So yeah, so around 250 or even less.
How are you guys bridging the gap between technical people, developers? Because there are a lot of you guys have them people, content creators, writers, meme makers, a bunch of talents that in most communities they are not recognized, right? Some communities are way technical for a lot of people. Other communities are not technical for people. So how are you guys like managing the entirety? How are you particularly? I think my focus is on you right now. How are you managing the non-technical people and the technical people?
Yes, we are a blockchain-based community, and obviously we need to focus on developers, but we also understand our market, right? If the devs build an amazing product and there's nobody to talk about it, then it has failed, right? So that's where the non-technical members of our community come into play. That is why if you search Superteam Nigerian products, for example, you will see a lot of responses, a lot of SEO or Google search. Developers don't know how to write sheets, but the writers know how to write, right? So that's why we have a dedicated writers guild focused on ensuring that we have really smart people, help them with research materials, and I can churn out those kind of content for our product. We understand that the same thing with the video content creators, right? Video is very popular, so we need a lot of people, founders, and the technical guys on the same like level that we also invest in our non-technical guys. And there's none that is more important than the other.
But there are like some people that the team does not accept in terms of like line of work.
Yeah, we don't cover all talents, all niches, all gifts, right? Yeah. I mean, we have design, we have video content creators, we have writers, we have animators. We just launched animators. We're thinking of launching a gaming guild. So we'll keep expanding depending on what we see fit in the market, right? Developers, obviously, because we're a blockchain company. Writers, because we needed non-technical people to share those stories. And there are a lot of writers hackathon happening at the time. Video content creator, because video is becoming a thing. Animators, create Guild because Little Unusual, which is an agency on Solana, launched a hackathon and lots of Nigerians jumped on it, animators, and we had the most prizes and also the most wins. So like, we have so much talent in this niche. So why not we be? So it depends on what we think is important and what we think it's good for the market and will be relevant to the ecosystem.
This is very, very key. Especially how the focus is not doing everything at the same time. That not bringing the entire talents that, because there's a large talent pool in Nigeria generally, but you're taking it one step at a time as, like you mentioned, things that are needed in the marketplace. I think generally, personally, I would want to know about the Nigerian habit that has happened to you. With all this talent that you've exported, because they have happened to you, right? Nigeria has happened to you.
Yeah. But I don't think I want to focus on the negatives, right?
Okay, I think we don't have to be pessimistic, but at the same
Yes.
time, while we're being optimistic, we can touch base on most of those things so that people, the entire reason why we're doing this is so that people can learn what is not right, especially with their frame of work, their mind frame that they are coming to this space with. Most of the things you see that needs to be dropped if you're coming to build in blockchain generally.
I tell people that the work that you do, you're not just doing it for yourself. A wide-reaching impact, right? So, and I'll give an example. The guys that raised in 2020, 2021, they don't like me when I say this, but I like to say it. Even when I'm meeting with them, I'm like, you guys mess it up for everyone. The reason why the current crop of products cannot raise or is very hard to raise is because all of you that raised in 2020, 2021 did not do anything with that money. You guys wasted it. There's no African crypto company that has exited. Many of you guys are not even running currently. So all the money that has been pumped into Africa, into Nigeria, and there's nothing from it. Obviously, the VC firms will not be keen on investing more.
Right? Yeah.
Right? So it's because those guys ruined it then. That's why we are feeling the impact right now. So I tell the current crop of ecosystem leaders and even product founders that once you get an opportunity, the opportunity is not for you. It's for the people that will come after you. It's for the people that are also in the ecosystem. The reason why Solana, for example, continue to invest in Superteam is because they've seen the results, right? They're leads that genuinely care about building a community and an ecosystem. We've been doing this for 2 years, getting funded for 2 years. So that means that Solana is seeing the result of their investment. We can see that, okay, when we started, Superteam was just, there was nobody in Superteam. They didn't have content creators, they didn't have builders, they didn't have users. Now they can see that that has changed, right? And it's as a result of the fact that we decided that we're not going to do what other ecosystem leads and builders have done before us. We would actually build an ecosystem and we'll support amazing product, right? Because of that, you now see many other chains are now coming into Nigeria and saying, okay,
That's
if
correct.
Solana is doing this with these guys, then let's find our own guys and also do this, right? It's because an ecosystem lead decided that, you know what, I don't want to do what my predecessors have done, right?
Yeah.
They take the money and then they start flying to Dubai, taking girls to Dubai and start balling. We want to be on ground, build an actual community, and now see companies like ones like Sui, Aptos, Base, Leaks, they're all hiring African talent. Some people
That's
do
right.
not do
Before now, yeah.
because they know that Solana has done it successfully well. Like, so let us also do that now. The more jobs that are created for fellow Africans, our entire GDP and country is better off for it. So I tell the current founders that it's hard to raise right now because the founders before you messed it up. So the moment you start raising, ensure that you actually do the work so that the founders that will come after you would also benefit from it. And that is the problem with that I feel like we have as Nigerians. It's everywhere. It's pervasive. You can see from the politicians to the gate man. People just want, for them it's instant gratification. For them, let me just make that money now. You can't compare to like the Asians and the Americans. They're thinking about building legacy projects and doing it for their unborn generation. Right? For us is we could chop them now, we could buy that Benz, we could go with convoy. No. You can do all of that, but you can also do the work.
That's correct. Yeah. That's totally correct. I like that you pointed this out because it's been a thing, even as someone who is building product and team members as well, that is sustainable. It's not only products that you build in these days. You ensure that you're building people because those people are the systems that are going to help run that thing. Harry, I believe that you will not be in Abuja today and be in Castina, like you said, or Borno, or Nasarawa State, right? But because you've been able to figure out that, okay, building long-lasting impact is actually on people first. Building people first, then those people go ahead and build the product. But before now, we have not seen this in the crypto space. So most of my colleagues that I work with way back Bankless, there was something like we call Coordinate, right? We're using Coordinate at the time for distribution. And we saw a lot of cyber attack and gaming, right? And we already have a bad name. We already have a bad name, right? So why are most of you now doing these things that they believe that we will do? But the narrative is generally changing because a lot of money is flowing into Africa right now. And like you touched base on those things, it's very, very, very important and key that even the least contributors in this project are focused on actually building the solutions. What are most of those products that you think are really, really needed? Not like an expo for anybody who wants to be, but I think you're not able to build everything. So there are certain things that, based off of your years of contribution and living in Nigeria as an individual, there are things that you've seen needs to be solved, problems that needs to be solved, and you may want to share that because someone is somewhere, I don't know what to build, but I want to.
I mean, I think there's a ton of problems that needs to be solved, from our faulty elections to our Asian civil service system to the cost of travel within Africa. I mean, Nigeria has lots of problems. Let me even start there, right? So Nigeria has a lot of problems. Yes, the blockchain has tried to solve a few. For example, we now have products that are crypto products that you can use to like hedge against inflation, like can save, right? That will a lot of products building around like the payment fintech space, right? But I think that we need to move away from all of those problems and start looking at problems generally, especially as a society, that the blockchain can solve. I gave a paper recently at the International Conference of Political Science in Abuja University, and it was one of the issues that my paper addressed. How can we use the blockchain to solve political science related problems like elections, like registration? I mean, if we start listing out all the problems that the blockchain can solve / problems that Nigeria has, really, we're not going to leave here. But I think people should consider looking at the use cases outside of payment and fintech that the blockchain can help solve, especially on a country that is bedeviled with loads of problems.
I'm particularly hoping that we can drive adoption in that area, actually providing solutions for those type of problems that you mentioned. Based off of your experience, there are a lot of things that I believe you can recommend for people who are looking to be in this space till 2035 at least.
I think you already answered it, right? I mean, very good question. Somebody tried to poach me from another chain, and he's Nigerian American, right? And one of the things he told me was, "You're really doing well for yourself. You have a nice job, you have a nice crib, you have nice cars, nice investment, blah blah blah. A very good family. Why you pursuing your doctorate degree?" You have a master's, I pursued a doctorate degree, and the truth is I didn't have a solid answer then.
But why?
Yeah, I didn't have a solid answer then, but I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and yeah, I think I finally got my answer. If you want to stand out from the flock, you have to constantly pursue excellence.
Yeah.
Being in class, studying with people from like all over the world. I have classmates from America, from South Africa, from every part of the world. And just being in that class, in that conversation, interacting with people and they sharing experiences from the different climes and you learning from that is something that is very, yes, I work with a lot of Americans and all of that, right? But working is different from when you are actually learning together and you're studying use cases, right? So for me, it's always about how can I constantly improve myself? Yes, I have a good job. I have this, I do that, I have that. But learning at a very high level where you are working on tests, studying use cases from global brands. If you ever interact or meet somebody with that kind of mindset or that kind of qualification, you will see the difference. If you meet someone that has a doctorate degree, for example, and did his doctorate degree because many people don't do their doctorate degrees. Many people buy their doctorate degrees. You see somebody that spend time doing a doctorate degree, doing research, and interact with that person, you would instantly know. That is why when people interact with me, I've had people from like the global crypto ecosystem tell me, are you Nigerian? Did you school in Nigeria? Are you born in Nigeria? I'm like, yeah, I didn't start traveling until I was in my mid-30s, for example. And before then, my primary, secondary, university education was all in Nigeria, right? So it's because of the exposure that education gives to you. I think just that knowledge contribution to what you already have is just something that nobody can beat, because again, everybody has a first degree. But I think my advice generally is just keep, it doesn't have to be a formal education.
Oh yeah,
You just have to keep learning. Like when I'm not even learning, I'm reading, like you mentioned, I'm reading research papers, I'm reading a lot of articles, I'm watching documentaries. The only thing I watch on TV is documentaries. I don't spend my time just watching documentaries about like historical figures of World War II, just learning and adding to my knowledge. I think it's as a result of just being curious about learning and just keep upskilling. I'm constantly upskilling. I'm sure that I know I said after my DB I'm not learning, but I've already applied for a PhD in marketing. I know that once I'm done with PhD, I'm going to apply for something else.
So now you're doing it as a person. Well, are you making any collective efforts for the team members who are like your own personal core team members who are helping drive this focus and adoption of Solana globally here in Africa?
I told a teammate to resign last week. He refused because once you get a job, or once we help you get a job in the ecosystem as part of my core team member, we tell you to resign. The reason he didn't want to resign is because for him, it's a very solid experience working for Superteam as a core team member. And we've had cases like that. I remember one time I was only telling my crew, well, you guys should leave, go and get a job. And nobody was leaving. Even the ones that will get jobs will hide it because they don't want to leave the core team, right? And it's not because of the money that pay them. It's not because of anything. I would find out that it's because they know the value they're getting from being part of the core team and learning from Harri and Zubi. There's no money that can buy that kind of experience or being part of the core team. I mean, that should answer the question of if we're investing because they get to learn. Another thing that I tell my core team members is that if you check the representative of other chains in your states, is there anyone that has the kind of depth that you have? The answer is almost always none. Check out the people in other states, 90% of them. It's very hard to see somebody in other ecosystem in other states that has the kind of depth, experience that, and it's because of the work that we've been able to do. We have something called KSS, which is
KSS.
KSS means
Knowledge sharing
session. What about it? That's what KSS means. We have our KSS every Tuesday where we do nothing but just bring in
experts from different places.
Yes, we do that every Tuesday to come and teach our core team. So I have a core team, right? So the organogram, the BBC. For example, we brought in a big brother Nigerian former participant that is a media expert, and he brought his friends from BBC and many other TV stations to come teach our people. Like you mentioned, if you don't invest in the people that work with you, you're not going to have really productive team members. And I mean, I don't think any manager or any lead wants that. So we constantly invest in our people's upskilling.
I want to believe that you have team members that are smarter than you.
Yes, of course. Like everybody's smart in their own different ways.
I mean, like extremely, I'm not saying intelligence, not based on comparison, just in the place of having people that are more knowledgeable than you in maybe team building or community management. So you're not like the apex of the entirety. So I'm just trying to figure out apex.
Yes, I mean, everybody has their strengths.
Yeah.
Is it true? It's like if you worked in a structured organization, it's almost very hard for you to be smarter than the boss. Because one, he has been doing it way before you were born, and he understands like the environment, the regulatory environment, the scope. Let's say I work with Tony Lumelu, for example. He's one of the guys that I admire, right?
Same here.
There's nothing that I would know better than Tony when it comes to banking. I doubt. Even though my core is marketing and community building, Tony knows the marketing that has given him the more customers. You probably would know that when he gave Whiskey the $1 million sign-on fee as an ambassador, that didn't go well. So if I come as a marketing person, I'm saying sign ambassadors, Tony would be the first to tell that.
No.
Not this kind of ambassador. Do you understand? So I feel like that is how it is, right? It's going to be hard to see people that work under me that will say, oh, are smarter than me when it comes to like how to build a community and all of that, right? Because I've been doing it longer than them. I have more experience. I'm older. Many of them are older than them with like 10 years, a decade, yes. Like I said, everybody has a strength. When it comes to managing a community in their states, I do not know better than them. That's why it's very necessary to consult the people on the ground. And I do that in my work. I've had people that have reached out to me, oh, I want to do something for you. And I'll be like, okay, give me a minute. And then I'll go and ask my team member on the ground, what do you think about this person? Don't touch them. I was literally in Enugu some weeks back and somebody reached out to me and said, yo, I'm looking for you. Let's do something together. Let's do this. I was like, okay, sure, no problem. After she left, I called my team member. Please come and meet me. What do you think about this person? He said, no, don't do this, don't do that, do that. And that was the end of it. It's so you have to trust them because they're the people on the ground. You not listening to them is going to put you in big.
Right.
And that was the situation with FTS because a lot of people they ended up investing for the people that nothing came out of it, right? So I respect their core expertise in what they're really good at, and I
just based off of people listening to you right now that are looking to start building with Solana and Superteam, are they necessarily supposed to be blockchain based, or any project founder? Let me not say any project founder, anyone building a needed solution that is not blockchain based just yet, but they want to migrate to building a blockchain. Now they're listening to you, and they kind of like I in love with the ethos and the ethics of the community and want to know more about it. Are they like some people that you'd call like fit to join if they are not entirely blockchain?
we've had Web2 founders
Yeah.
that just want to integrate blockchain into their product suites and they meet us. It's something that we actively encourage, especially like really good Web2 founders, right? For example, if Paystack today, Flutter today say, yo, we want to come do something with you guys, it would be amazing, right? We're always open to that. We've had so many cases like that, right? Asa didn't start as a Solana product. It started as a base product. They participated in a base hackathon and eventually they bridged into Solana. There are people like DexPay that also came from Binance Smart Chain, right? They're like we welcome everybody that wants to integrate Solana. So you don't have to know blockchain. You obviously have to know your stuff and be good at your stuff. Then we can help you with all of that technical integration.
But I don't know if there are stuffs that you like to share based off of advice, experience that you want a lot of young founders who are building solutions right now. Things that needs to be fixed as fast as possible, else they will not see the light of the day.
Yeah, I think for me, it's understanding like your current reality. Product founders should be doing, in addition to obviously you have to keep poking and looking for people to invest in, is to focus on revenue and profitability. Raising is good, getting capital injection, funding, all of that is good. But what is better is building a company to a point where you're generating revenue, can take care of your recurring bills, costs, and also profitability. Getting venture capital funding right now is very hard, but you need to focus on scaling that business, generating revenue, getting to profitability. Profitability means that you don't even need the
community money, right?
Yeah, it means you don't need the VC's money, right? That's basically what it means. That is even when VCs wants to give you money because you don't need that money. They're like, okay, this is a sure cash out, right? So that's the reason I advise young founders that the environment is really harsh if you're looking for capital to expand or to grow. So from day one, you must build a product that is already generating revenue that people want to use, that already found product market fit. So from day one, focus on people willing to pay for that product and then move to profitability.
Wow. I think this is what mostly ignored. I think a lot of people are doing incubation program and whatnot, but people are building different things for different reasons. Like I always say, we all have what we're optimizing for, and everybody will be fine. But the part of actually just build the thing. If people need it, they'll buy it. Just build, ship, test it. If it fails, I think I want to get your philosophy on failure as well because I want to validate mine. So I'm asking personally. Personally, what does failure mean to you in all of your years of building different places? Because you've done different things, Harry. From your even your LinkedIn is like so structured in a way. No. This guy has so much experience. He's been building at different stages and different time with timestamps, what they did. And sometimes you can't help but wonder how many times you failed and how fast you failed in your process of building. And how are you currently feeling?
I think everyone should look forward to failing, right? If you're not failing, it means that you're not experimenting as much. And I think that for you to be successful, you need to take more risks. You need to experiment more, right? I never thought that I'd be in the blockchain space. I started as a broadcaster. That didn't work. I switched to Web2 marketing. That was working. And then I switched to Web3 space where I found success. Two notable times that I failed. The first one was in the university. There's a lecturer that's I won the award for the American equivalent of the guy that will likely go to jail. You know, in American high school, they have like this very funny awards where they're like, the most the most likely to succeed, the most likely to go to jail. So I won the Nigerian Virtual University. It was given to me by my professor. They really gave it to you. Yes. He said, this guy, nothing's going to come out of it, right? He told me, Professor Igbo.
Wow.
Yes. Another of my guy, like he was like somebody I looked up to, also said that I'm going to be a comfortable guy, but I'll never be like a rich guy. He told me that also. Another time was while in the university or when I was leaving, I started out a fashion line and I did a couple of things. I remember one of my second university friends said that Lord knows what Harry will do next because I'm always switching, I'm always trying new stuff. And looking back now, I'm happy that I had those experiences and I experimented a lot because I think that's why I've been able to find success. And you can see like a print of all of these experiences. I did fashion, how I dress, broadcasting, how I speak, how I communicate. Like, do you understand? So I think those things are very, very, they've been very, very relevant, right? So I was just always a guy that was always experimenting, and if it doesn't work, I just abandon it. I love failing. Like, I enjoy failing. The FTX experience was a failure. It was a failure, right? It was a failure. I learned from it and I'm glad I did, right? So all those things have forced me to become the person that I am today, right? So I encourage people to experiment, to fail. Yeah, it has shaped me, yes. Like I said, this is the best part of this story. I'm looking forward to it because one of the things I want to do is I want to be in the front line of documenting the journey of founders, especially from Africa, who are building sustainable solutions and scaling not only products, but people, right? We want to have a backlog of last 10, 20 years. So imagine that you had the video of this moment that you're talking about when you won the prestigious award of the guy. I might likely go to jail. Oh no. But then the beautiful thing is that most of these things did not shape you. So I believe there is a mindset that you had at that time that propelled and enabled you to come out of, whatever place they put you. I feel like the lecturer that said that did not understand who I truly was, right? I was one of the smartest guys in my class, right? I remember one time a lecturer came in, I was like, this guy, because again, I studied political science for my first degree. And political science students are not supposed to be flashy. They're supposed to wear unironed clothes. Yes, please. But I was coming in with like grown hair, jeans, sneakers, very colorful clothes. And like, this guy would not make it. Is it possible? I remember a lecturer came and said, are you sure this guy is even smart? The student told him that, he's like a really smart kid. That this is just his style, right? And funny enough, there was no mindset change. I was just a guy that knew where I was coming from. I knew I wasn't from a rich family, so I had a family to take care of and to make proud, right? So I always had that at the back of my mind when I was doing all the work. So I was very big on reading. I also understood two laws, the law of attraction and also understanding delayed gratification. So the law of attraction, I read that during my NYC and I live by that law. And also delayed gratification. I did not buy a car in my 30s. I had friends that were driving cars in secondary school, right? But like some of the cars that I drive right now, it's impossible for many of those people to drive because that's correct. Do you understand? So for me, it's about, there's so many things that I want for myself that I currently, but I also understand that if I keep working hard, I'll be able to afford those things. Like, we love material things. Who doesn't, right? So for me, it's about, I'm not going to do anything illegal to go and afford those kind of things. I know that if I keep working hard, putting myself out there, keep getting opportunities for myself, sometime I'll be able to achieve all of the things that I want. There were only two lecturers that I went back to school with gifts. And I went back to school with like really solid gifts because they were really kind and nice to me when I was in school, right? In fact, one of the lecturers, when I gave him his gift box, that gift box was close to almost ₦1 million. Yeah, just gift box, yeah. And one of the things he said was, he called me and was like, he's really thankful, he's really proud of me that he took it to school and he opened it in the middle of where all the lecturers were. And he was telling them that this is why it's good to be nice to people because you don't know what they will become. Actually, you don't know what they become. So the other lecturer that I also gifted, he was a teaching assistant then. The other one that opened the gift box was he was the HOD, but he wasn't a professor then, but he's not a professor. While the teaching assistant is now a lecturer. And that he told me that that's the exact thing he tells the younger lecturers, that you don't know the person that will change your life. So it's the importance of just being kind to people because they might not be on your level now, but you don't even know what they might become in the future. This is real, and I'm putting it to myself as well. Remember how I mentioned that I'm very big on personal development, and
one of the things that I've noticed now, bringing this back, reaching out to community, because we say decentralization, but it's not totally decentralized, which is the honest truth. And I've noticed that most of these contributors are people with different character traits, different home training, upbringing, and you see that some people react poorly towards other people. So, for instance, I was trying to reach out to a certain ambassador of a community, and you know how, and this is a Nigerian person. So, originally, I would expect that a Nigerian person would give you a listening ear first. Just listen first. And then if it doesn't work with you, you'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, this doesn't work with me at this time. And if you have someone you can refer them to, you definitely have to do that. Else you let them know, oh, beautiful, this is not my thing. But when you were talking about how you need to be kind to people because you do not know the person who is going to open the next door for you. These men are gates. Everybody, both men and women, they are gates that are going to be in different territories that you would be looking to knock on. And they were able to knock on your door, bringing this back to the actual time, because there is a little bit of trauma there, right? If to some people, when they are addressed like that, they might put it on themselves that I'm not good enough. I might end up in jail. Some people who don't have Obi anchor, when we say lion's heart, right? They don't have that, and words can easily put them down. But because there are some people that were good and kind to you, I think I want to even pick your brain saying how you think different community members, especially building in Web3, because now we're gaining mainstream and this thing is going to blow up within the next few years. But some character traits needs to be fixed in a lot of people. So I think we want to hear your opinion on why these things are important to start working on now that we're in the early stage of adoption before we blow up. And
I mean, like I told you, right? I had about 10,000 followers when the BD of FTX Africa sent me a message, and he had like 500 followers. I had no reason to respond to his DM, but I did, and responding changed my life. The reason why I still work in the crypto space and I have this job is because of the work that I did at FTX. It's as simple as that. If I had not responded, if I felt like, oh, like, who are you? Like, I will not be here. It's the same situation with my department that I give an example that if the lecturer, the older one that is a professor, called me and told me that a lot of people don't want to return to the department because of just how the department was treating them. Told me that they reached out to a lot of students. Nobody responded to them. Now imagine if the department had been kind to them and had been responsible. So imagine if they had reached out to all of these people to come. Do you know the amount of investment that these guys would have? Again, but people don't see the big picture. For them, it's just, oh, I'm the lecturer, I'm the don.
yeah,
You are my servant, and you're going to have to worship me. And the people don't see the big picture, right? So it's the same situation from how I responded to somebody that many people did not respond to. At the time that like a handful of people were telling me that, oh, it's very difficult getting to my core team members. They don't respond to their DMs. And I called for an emergency call. And I said that if somebody sends you a DM as a core team member, let's say you're a product lead or you're a Lagos State moderator, and you don't respond, do you know what's going to happen next? He's going to take his products and go to your competitor. That's what he's going to do. He's going to go to your competitor and and when you ask him, or why be like, oh, these guys, they're feeling purpose, they don't respond to me. The situation where some content creators were calling out a particular chain, right? And one of the things that people were saying on the tweet was that, oh, Harry will respond to you even if it's 12 noon, right? It's one of the things that I really pride myself in. Yes, today, right now, I have 45,000 followers, but I respond to I check all my DMs. If I don't respond to your DM, it's probably lost. It's not because I saw it and I ignored it. You understand? So it's very important that as Web3 natives, as community members, you communicate. You have to be accessible. Like yes, you might be worthier than somebody, you might be bigger than somebody, and might have a bigger position than somebody, but that person would not be a community member, an ordinary community member forever. That person will not always have 500 followers forever. So it's very important that you're accessible and you respond to every message. 99% of the times, I know what these people want to say or what they want to tell me, but I still want to listen to you, right? Sometimes all you have to do is just give them a listening ear. That's all you have to do. You don't have to agree to their terms. You don't have to give them anything. Just say, okay, I hear you, I see you. For a lot of people, that is enough. They're not asking for much. I just wish a lot of people can run with this. A lot of founders. It's hard. It's hard. Founders think that they're too big to be tweeting. I know that in Nigeria, we like to do a lot of hero worship. It's all about, Oh, Harry, thank you. No. Today, celebrate yourself because the reason I still have a well-paying job is because of people like you that wake up, you create content, you build a product, you are active. That is the reason why I'm still here. You guys made me. But again, no Nigerians. Be like you worship. Within 2 minutes in the comments section, I've already said thank you very much. Well done.
This is very, very insightful. I think you've shared way more than enough for anyone who is actually looking to build sustainable solutions, whether in Web 2 and Web 3. The beautiful thing with what we're doing with the Positive Thought podcast is that we are not centered only on Web 3 or Web 2 builders. We are humanizing the people behind the codes, right? There are a lot of mindset and character traits and a lot of philosophy behind the person building the thing. And I believe that in the process of trying to build anything, whether a product or people, one of the most important things to do is to checkmate yourself as well. So this is like a whole lot of taking you back to memory lane, how things has happened and where you are currently. I'm particularly keen on what you have in mind for a lot of young people in Africa who are not entirely building in Superteam.
I mean, I think that I'm more focused on my primary constituent.
You're focused on only Superteam?
Yes, I think that that's how I can make the most impact. I don't think that if you spread yourself so thin that you will have the kind of impact. If I was doing multiple things, I don't think I would have the kind of impact that I'm having on Superteam. Superteam is my baby,
Yeah.
and is the only thing that I focus on, at least work related. I recently set up a foundation, but even the foundation is focused on the areas that Superteam would not touch. So the focus of the foundation is to grow out the blockchain ecosystem in Nigeria generally through education, through government advocacy, and also through cultural stuff. So that means that, for example, Superteam would not be able to sponsor an international conference because certain regulatory issues
And all that.
but the Harri Obi Foundation
Can do.
has a license, can do that.
Yeah.
Right? So I would do that. For example, Superteam will not be able to sponsor the Lagos Igbo Festival. Yes, right? But Harri Obi Foundation can sponsor it because we can go there and through cultural integration, we can let people know about the advantages of blockchain. Do you understand? So it was why I set it up. It's to act as the areas that is still part of the work that I do. The areas that Superteam cannot penetrate, the Harri Obi Foundation should be able to penetrate it. Yeah.
To me, that's like what you have in store for them. So,
Yes.
so I didn't want to entirely call the foundation, but it's part of why I asked that question
Yeah.
because you see a lot of people are just consuming, and they're not giving back to the community. Now, the bill we have to pay is feeding the goose that laid the egg, right? And most of us, like you are the frontliner right now, that a lot of people need to follow sit on. When you have XYZ, please make sure that you give XYZ to people because it's a legacy thing. I may not remember Solana, but I will remember you because at a certain time in life,
Yes.
you did something that moved us forward.
Yes. That little thing that you've done has had an effect. You know, people have said you're the reason why I'm in the blockchain space, or I'm reading on Solana, or I'm in the Web3 space, or I'm in Web3 marketing. Like, you have no idea. And the people that are just watching you, that is why I feel like the pressure of being a role model is too much. When people say you're my mentor, I'm like, I don't really want to mentor. I just want to live my life. But the truth is, you've done fairly well for yourself. So whether you like it or not, there are people that some parts of your life would be attractive to or would like. So there's really nothing you can do about it.
For someone that has not seen their first $1,000,
It's a numbers game. If you keep showing up, something is bound to happen.
that's correct.
If you keep knocking on doors, somebody's bound to open a door for you. A very amazing lady tweeted that, she put up a video of when the time that she was really depressed and how I think she just went through a breakup and it was depressing, and she was like, she recorded herself and said, I'm recording myself so that when I'm in a happy place, I can go back to this video. And she put the before and after video. This lady got a grant of, I think, $4,000 from Superteam. $4,000 is like what now? 6-7 million?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
That is
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. That most Nigerians don't make that money in a year.
Definitely.
In a year. And she made it just off her talent as a content creator. And she has gone on to make like a handful since then. And she was sharing her story with me about how she was depressed. She got into business. A lot of things that happened to her. And I told her that if you had gotten to your cocoon, you had said, you know what, let me go kill myself, or let me not do anything, you would not be here today. But you came out, you kept on showing up. Somebody's bound to open the door. And for her, it was me because it was very random. She came to the startup village in Nigeria and just recorded with her phone. I did not know her, but the video was so clean and so good that when I saw the video, I was like, sorry, your videos are good. How can we work together? The next day, she shot another video that was really good. I was like, oh, I need this person in my community. Please. I bought her clothes. I made her the assistant content creator for Superteam Lagos, and I gave her a grant of like, I think 2,000. First one was 2,000. I saw another video. I was like, sorry, 3,000. I saw another video. I was like, no, 4,000. I was like, she's really good with content. And we want this kind of talent in our ecosystem because you use incentives to bring them in, and then when they see how supportive and like how structured it is, they're like, okay, wants to be here. Now she's doing stuff for Jupiter. She's doing the same content she's doing for Superteam with you. And that's what we want. We want to keep you in our ecosystem with Solana. We don't want you to go to EVM, right? So, I mean, it speaks to that mental health of you just keep showing up. I mean, this is someone that said she was depressed when she lost her job. And today, she works with me as my part of my core team. She's one of the amazing ladies in our ecosystem and someone I'm very proud of. So, we've seen situations where people just have been depressed and Superteam has changed their life, right? So I think that you also want to find a safe space outside of work. The $1,000 will eventually come. But for the meantime, while you're showing up, you also have to tap into like family, community, right? If it gets depressing for you.
Sometimes how you people portray these things would help many of us as well that are looking to, make success. So definition of success to a few people might be having, some good cars, good houses, and I mean they're balling.
There's
Shit.
so many metrics. Yeah. But it was successful
It was one of the important things that you have touched base on is family and how you've made family a safe space for you in these hard times. And I don't want to entirely dive into that discussion of finding a safe space because it's not entirely easy. You know the society that we live in and the things that are factors contributing to young men not entirely finding a safe space because it's like the safe space is not safe for them. Right. But what would you recommend that most young builders in the Web3 space should do in this case?
Again, tap into communities. It's not just, I'm not talking about Web3 communities, right? Tap into just like social communities. There was something I wanted to do at the time. I remember I tweeted that should I create a group for young boys that are looking to navigate life? And I was shocked at the overwhelming response that had. It was overwhelming. Like I was like, there's so many young boys that are actually trying to navigate life.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that I did not do that anymore. I did not follow up. But I'm sure that if I had done that, it would have been really helpful because those young boys that some of them even fatherless, they're looking for mentors and they see people like us as someone that they can look up to, right? I was tired with work. I had other things that I was doing. And also I felt like I wasn't grown enough to do that. Maybe it's something that I'm going to revisit. Find a mentor, and the mentor doesn't have to be a direct mentor. It could be somebody who'll watch you from afar. There are people that have never sent a message, but I look how they navigate life. So you have to tap into like all of these angles, right? Don't always spend your time on social media looking at how other young men are doing better for themselves. Many of them are actually lying, by the way.
Actually.
So get a mentor. Doesn't have to be a close mentor. It could be a distant mentor you're learning from. But also tap into like all the aspects of like the community, the church, your village, your cousins, right? Especially if you're an Igbo child, you understand that these things are very important.
I mean,
The people ask me like, I mean, why are you married? You're young. I'm like, so if you want to be a respected member of the society, there's certain things that you have to do. No pressure, do it when you want to do it. But those things are very important.
this is what I call a 360. It's only a fool, for lack of better terms, that will listen to upon all the action items that we've listed here. And why I call them a fool is that they don't act on it. So it's a big thing. There's lots of information out there. People even listen to junk of information in the morning when they are waking up from the sleep, but they don't act on them. But I literally say that if your learning is not leading to action, then you can't be wealthy and you're becoming foolish at the same time. That's why I use the word foolish. But it's only a foolish person that will listen to all of these things and still ask questions. Why am I not making progress? Because you've dropped a lot of things here that would help many people win in life. And Harry, I I want to sincerely thank you. My team and I, every one of us, we want to thank you, our community members. And I believe a lot of super team members don't know this part of you. And so far, so good. We've been able to review just a little. And in not a very long time, we reviewed the other parts of them that you've not entirely shared. And I think you need to.
I share a lot compared to other speakers. I know that I'm a big sharer. I know how everybody speaks. And when it comes to me, I tell the interviewer that there's no topic that is off
Off
topic.
limits.
Yeah, like off limits. Yeah. So I'm an open book because I think that I also want to look back at certain conversations I've had and be like, okay, I remember when this happened, or somebody that started his Web3 career by watching a YouTube video that I did when I was at FCX. I was serious, let's say. I was like, and he was like, when he got into Web3 market, there was no material. It was that YouTube video that he went to watch. So I went back and I watched YouTube video. I was like, damn, I dropped a lot of gems here. And I didn't even know. I started watching it just even, I'm like, so sometimes it's very important to have these conversations because they can take you back. There's certain things that you might have forgotten. And it's also good for introspection to just say, okay, look at how far I've come. And I think that I'm not doing badly for myself. Yeah.
That's entirely true. That's entirely true. And we're so grateful, Harry. I would love personally, there are a lot of boys, young men who are asking a ton of questions. Most of these questions we can ask our fathers, right?
True,
Because
actually.
we can ask our fathers, but we believe that there are mentors who have gone ahead of us, leaders who have paved the way. So would like to see that institution, once you're able to set it up for young men who are looking for answers. And I believe there are other leaders as well who would want to work with you on that particular project, because this is giving back and sowing actual seeds and men who are going to be shaping the landscape of what our country will become in no distant time. And what's the best part of it than being the front liner that brought that? And we need to have circles where we talk about most of the things that matter so much, because that tweet, I screenshotted that tweet for real, that you made about, obviously, that's the reason why young men are not entering relationships, because they're afraid of bills and whatnot. Everybody's finding their scare route, every young man. I would believe, whether they're doing it the right way or the wrong way, but the many reasons why people are doing it more the wrong way is because I believe that they did not have, or they've not seen people who are telling them you can actually do this thing the right way and get it done.
That's why I'm a big fan of Jaros. You know Jaros? Sajaros?
Sajairos. I'm definitely
Sirjurus. He's on Twitter. He's a big advocate of that. He would tell you that the reason he is big on personal development and education is because he wants to show young people that you don't have to commit fraud to lead the kind of life that you want. And he's a successful guy, has worked like oil companies, or now he runs his businesses. And even when I share those private part of my life, you see he's always the first person to retweet or to engage. And he's a very good friend of mine. I look up to him because I think that the people that are really successful should not shy away from sharing certain part of their life in public. Because if you go online now, the only people that you think are doing well for themselves are the people that are fraudsters. Of course, young people would want to be fraudsters because they'd be like, that's why they keep saying school is a scam.
That's true.
Because Sajay just went for a real estate course at the University of London, if I remember correctly. This is a guy that has studied, came out with the first class, but he's still studying, right? He's a very big advocate of school isn't a scam, right? So problem is just how society is. People that are really doing well for themselves don't want to be very public because of certain reasons. And these guys have been accustomed to just saying only the comfortable guys with fraud boys. Now, when they see somebody that went to school and works a company, then basically some of them would have a change of mind, like, well, maybe I don't need to steal from people anymore to live a comfortable life. And I think I always don't reveal a lot of my life, but that's why I review certain aspects of my life. And I have people that tell me, oh, thank you so much, you inspire me. It's because they now see that as a pathway, they see that Harry is doing well for himself, but Harry is also a student studying for his doctorate. So it means that in this country, there are still people that are really making it for themselves that don't have to defraud anybody, right? So I think that the younger people that are doing well for themselves should try to mentor these people, show that it's possible that you don't have to default somebody to be successful. So yeah.
I think you want to say we have to, you know?
But I feel like I've done my own fair share. Now that I'm married, there is a lot of ground to cover. Open to do that anymore.
There's a lot of ground to cover, and why this is very important is I think this is very, very key because a lot of pivoting is happening, and I think most of the reasons why the first ban were placed for crypto was because it was mostly seen as a fraudulent type of industry. Mention cryptocurrency, people shy away because maybe they don't understand the tech and whatnot. So there's like influx of young people right now building in blockchain. Most of them come from environment and settings that are originally channeled, and what they know is that for you to be this, you have to be this. So most of them, I told you, there were civil attacks and a lot of attacks that affected every one of us. So just one guy was attacking Bankless DAO at the time, defrauding more than 3,000 people in coordinate. Jesus Christ.
I mean, why did I just cry? It's very normal.
It's very normal. It didn't make sense at the time. I was like, brother, you were put in this position to handle this. And you who is put in this position, you are not afraid that it's easy for anyone to point fingers at you. You are the one perpetrating the act. That's so sad. And he ended up killing a lot of Nigerian talents, many of them in Ife. More than 500 Nigerians dropped off the community. Affected a lot of people's life. And I think based on what you said, that people who are successful in this field, like you, need to talk about it, that this is what you need to do. This is how to do it. And if you do XYZ, you will see XYZ results, which is super simple. And I'm really happy that we're making that progress. First step is doing this right now. It's going to live on the internet forever. And you've covered a lot of ground so much, Harry. Last question I have for you is, what is that one thing that you would tell anyone watching you right now? Go and do right now.
Take chances as much as you can and study delayed gratification. Knock on doors, tell people, sorry, this is what I do. I'd love to help you do this. Do you mind speaking with me? Can you give you an opportunity? Do that constantly. The first 10 people will reject you. The first 100 people will reject you. The first 200 people would reject you. The CEO of Childec said 200 people said no, would reject you. But there's going to be just that one person that would say yes. Maybe the 250 person I would say yes. And it would make all the other 250 that rejected you be worth it, right? So take more chances. Also understand delayed gratification. You don't have to ride the cars now. You don't have to, those things would come. They'll come through value, right? You don't have to be in a hurry.
Wow. This has been an insightful one. Thank you so much for sharing, Harry. And we believe that if you've stayed with us up until now on this episode of the Positive Thought Podcast, you have learned so much. And we believe that you are moving straight into action, because that's literally why we are doing all of this. Now, we have one ask for you. We want you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That's the only thing that we want you to do in contribution to bringing high quality guests to the PT Podcast. And obviously share this video with your community members and bookmark this video as well for later. See you on the next one.